I have Goldberg in the studio. He's on our sister station, 99.9 The Point. He does mornings.
Yeah.
And he told me this story yesterday, and I thought, you cannot make this ish up.
You can't. And I feel bad about this because it shows that, like, I used to be a real jerk.
Yeah, you did. Well, obviously this girl was crazy to make you...
Oh, so crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. I mean,
okay,
she didn't have issues. She had subscriptions. I mean, that's how crazy she was.
Oh, my God.
So this girl that I met in college my last year, and I'm married now. I am not married to this woman.
Yeah, you're happily married to the love of your life.
Exactly. I was one of those guys, I hated to put effort into relationships, and anytime the slightest bit of, like, road bump showed up, I was like, I'm out. Peace. Cool, I've got a reason to break up. And until I met my current wife, and then I'm like, oh, I actually want to work on this. Wow,
yeah.
this is what it's like. So anyway, so I met this girl in college, and it was crazy because I got flooded out of my house. Like, my house literally got flooded in college, and I was homeless, and I needed a place to live.
Yeah.
And there was these 3 girls we were friends with, and I went over to their house one night, and they were like, hey, you should just crash here. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And then one thing led to another. I ended up getting in a relationship with one of these girls.
It just kind of happened.
It just happened. I slipped and fell into a relationship. And so I'm dating this girl, and we ended up dating for like 2.5 years. Like, my last year of college, and I went into the workforce and started working in radio, and she had 1 year left of college. Then she graduated, then she just like moved in, and she's like, hey, this is our apartment. I'm like, what? We're moving in together?
But it was a cool apartment, you were telling me.
It was so cool. I was like, man, I really like this place, and I just wish you weren't here with it, but I guess you found it, so I got to move in with you. And, well, here's the thing, though. It got to the point where I wanted to end this relationship, and I was living in Pittsburgh, working in radio in Pittsburgh, and I was like, okay, I can't end this. I'm a horrible breaker-upper, and I couldn't break up the relationship. So what I did is I got another job in another city. I started looking for jobs. Not that I wanted to leave my job. I loved my job, and I didn't want to leave. But I was like,
but you hated this girl.
I hated this girl. So I was like, all right. So instead of leaving her, I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to find another job in another city. And I had 2 offers. I had one in New York City actually, and another one in Des Moines, Iowa. And I liked the Des Moines, Iowa job better. So I was like, all right, I'm moving to Des Moines. So it was like one of those things where I flew out for the interview. I came back. I'm accepting the job. I'm moving out. And she goes, well, when are we leaving? And I was like, there's nothing. Wow, we have to talk about this we thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm, excuse me. I'm sorry, I need a little bit of water.
Oh, my God.
So I left, and she was like, well, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm moving. You're staying here. And she's like, are we breaking up? And we're like, well, what if I want to move out there too? And I'm like, well, get a job if you want. Like, so like literally like about like 4 months later, after we had technically kind of broken up and I moved away, I hadn't talked to her. She calls me up and she's in town in Iowa from Pittsburgh. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm here for a job interview. You know we're not getting back together. Even if you get this job, I escaped. I got away.
You fled.
I fled. Like, I left crap at the house that I wanted and everything like that. Like, she still has, like, my graduation, like, class ring from college and stuff.
Oh, my God.
No, yeah, like, I was,
that sucks.
I essentially, like, packed up what I could and, like, fled in the middle of the night. That's essentially what it was. Like, it was so bad. Like, I wanted out of that so bad. Like, even whenever I was living in Des Moines, I was still paying her rent in Pittsburgh because our lease wasn't up yet. And I was like, I'm not going to leave her destitute and homeless.
Yeah.
So I was still paying her rent until our lease was up. So I was paying 2 rents and everything. But I needed out of that relationship. And every time I would have like a holiday, my parents would come out and everything like that. They were like, you're not marrying this woman, are you? Because my parents couldn't stand this girl. And
now, describe this girl. Like, like what were, aside from the crazy, like trying to follow you to Des Moines thing, like what else would she do? What made her crazy?
Well, okay, so she was incredibly opinionated, but very...
Oh, because that's awful for a female.
No. incredibly opinionated and undereducated.
Oh.
So she was one of
So
those.
she had no place to say certain things.
Yeah, like that's the one thing is I have no problem like I love getting in debates with people, especially if they're informed. But what I hate is when you're getting in a debate with somebody and they have no idea what they're talking about. And they have and that's like because I get in a lot of political discussions with people and everything like that, and I don't care. Like I have friends who are on every political spectrum, okay, and I love it because they're informed and they truly believe in what they believe in. And I love having conversations with those people because they truly understand and they're educated about what they're supporting. But then with her, it would be kind of like she'd be so adamant about this. And I'd say like, well, tell me more about it. And she would have no idea what, like,
oh my God.
And
she just kind of jumped on the bandwagon of whoever she was around.
Exactly. And she was overly vocal about her opinions. And so that what really got to me. And it all in all, she just had a very abrasive personality.
Wow.
Very abrasive personality. And it was one of those things like when I first started dating her and she kind of like showed interest in everything like that, I kind of felt obligated because I was homeless because I got flooded. I felt like, yeah, sure. It's like,
did you a favor.
Do me a favor. I'll do you a favor too. Let's date. Why not? And I was like, and also no college relationship, or I never really saw this relationship going anywhere. And I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. So, I mean, it's never going to last outside of college. I mean, I'm graduating, whatever. And she just wouldn't go away.
Oh my God.
She wouldn't go away.
Oh my God.
And so I fled this state.
You seriously fled it. You fled it.
Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. So yeah, I fled the state. I found another job in another state to get away from this woman. I quit my job that I loved. I loved my job, and I left it so I can get away from this woman.
That is insane. The things we will do to get away from love. Before I let you go, your opinion on Valentine's Day. This has been such a hot topic in the office with everyone. Like, why do guys hate Valentine's Day? It's not bad to hate it, but I'm just curious. Why do they hate it?
It's not that I hate Valentine's Day. I've got no emotional connection to it. It's one of those things where I'm horrible, obviously, at showing emotion. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at showing emotion. And there's one day that it's actually connected to, like, you have to be emotional. You have to show this. You have to, like, the extent of my emotions is like crying at the old Yeller. You know, that's essentially that is my emotional spectrum. That is the most I can get out of it right there.
But it's so easy to just go to like Walmart and get a single rose.
No.
And say like Happy Valentine's Day.
Because your kind always expects more.
My kind.
Yes, women always expect more. That's what it is. It's not, because you get one rose, why isn't it half dozen? You get a half dozen, why isn't it a dozen? Why isn't it 2 dozen, you know?
Why isn't a field of flowers?
Exactly. Why haven't you, like, made roses, freaking endangered and buy me enough of those things, you know? That's what it is, because that's the thing is women always want just that little bit more. And I always like to underwhelm because I don't actually, it's not just like, I don't like to underwhelm or overwhelm. I just like to whelm. I just like to, it's right in the middle.
I just like to whelm.
Just right in the middle there, because then I'm not disappointing and I'm not exceeding or setting a higher set of expectations for next year.
That Pittsburgh girl really ruined you.
Oh, she ruined me. There was we had another conversation. There was a girl that did ruin me, like way back in the day.
God.
There was a girl that ruined me. Like there was a period of time that I was a very romantic soul, and I was very nice, and I was very
well, that's good.
It was awesome. Like I was really romantic, and this one girl just destroyed my heart, just tore it to shreds. And then was
it the Pearl Jam girl?
It was the Pearl Jam girl.
Oh God.
The last word she ever said to me was, "At least I'm still going to Pearl Jam," and I'm like, what? I bought one of those tickets.
Yeah, and she had the tickets.
And
so you couldn't get yours.
Is like, what, 9/10 of the law or something?
Yeah.
And so she went to Pearl Jam, and I'm sitting there, twiddling my thumbs going, I can't believe I'm not at freaking Pearl Jam right now.
Yeah.
And so was very disappointed in that. So anyway, so she destroyed my heart, and there was a period of time there. Excuse me. There's a period of time there for about like 10 years. I was a complete jerk to women and fled states to get away from them. So that was me. I've got a really interesting past when it comes to dating and everything like that.
Wow.
But that was like, but she kind of ruined me for everything. And my wife, in some cases, is taking the brunt of it because of her suffering from this. Not because she
bless
wants me
her heart.
Excuse me. She wants me to be more romantic, and I just can't do it. I'm not that I don't love my wife. I love my wife, but it's difficult for me to really reopen Pandora's box when it comes to.
God. You don't want another
romantic.
Pittsburgh.
I really don't. So I try to be romantic, and so the cool thing is now since I've set the bar so low, whenever I do something very romantic or very sweet, my wife just like all of a sudden bursts, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is like the greatest thing ever."
Well, she deserves it.
She does, but the whole thing is I just like that way. I'm like slow playing it, and we've been married for a while now, like 10 years and everything like that. And like, I've got a good pace going on where she doesn't. Every year, it's incremental growth and not like leaps and bounds. That way, next year, I'm not underdoing or like, making myself look bad the year before. She goes, "Why don't you always do this?"
That's smart. Very smart
conniving.
idea.
I am. I'm very cerebral when it comes to my relationships and making sure that I don't overextend myself.
Just like you say, like when giving a gift for like Valentine, or well, not just Valentine's Day, but if you're going to give a girl jewelry. You were saying get the necklace and then the earrings and make sure everything matches if you're going to get a ring. And I say don't even get a ring unless it's an engagement ring.
No, I'm saying, it's like, okay, here's your birthstone earrings and also necklace, and then you'll get your birthstone ring to match eventually, just as long as it's not something that could be misconstrued as an engagement ring. Unless you're actually like popping the question.
Well, yeah.
Stay away from anything when it comes to the digits.
Yes.
Like, do not put anything on a finger or toe that could be mistaken for an engagement ring.
Unless it's a mood ring. Where the mood is like all the way around.
Not even a mood ring. Anything that goes. Never. If you do not want anything, because there's going to be that one girl that you're going to give a mood ring to. It's like, is this a promise ring? No, it's not a promise ring. And who even does those anymore? Seriously. No. So that's why I like never give a gift when it comes to a woman unless you really want to maybe take it to that next step eventually. Never give a gift that is actually a ring that goes on a digit because you're sending the wrong. A woman's gonna connect the dots.
Yeah.
A woman in her mind is gonna go, "We've been dating for 3 weeks and he's going to propose to me." It's like, no, he's not. He got you a vending machine ring as a joke, and it's a ring pop. That's why
it's a ring pop.
I never got a ring pop. I would never it's like, hey, candy for trick or treating and everything like that. Not getting ring pops. Whenever I lived with that crazy girl and we were like, we had trick or treaters and we were getting candy. No, kids got Reese cups or Reese peanut butter cups or Snickers. Never got ring pops. Why?
Because she was going to expect you to propose. She would have been like, frickin' ring pop.
He's sending me a message. No, I'm not sending you a message.
He's thinking about it. We've been together 2 years. Now he's going to do it.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's finally going to pop the question.
He's going to move us to Des Moines, and we're going to live happily ever after.
Yeah, we're going to
married. No. Forever and ever and ever.
No.
Oh,
I've got
God.
crazy stories when it comes to relationships. Like I could talk.
Obviously.
I can come in here all the time. Like the one time whenever I went to Phoenix, and we'll save this for another day, maybe tomorrow. But I went to Phoenix, and my wife and my kid, we were down there. It was a couple years ago, and I had a friend who was all like, "Hey, why don't you come over for dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So on the way to that house, to meet my old friend and everything, my wife just turns to me. She goes like, "I'm really excited about this. I get to meet people you used to hang out with," and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." She's like, "Wait, did you ever date this girl?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I did." She's like, "Wait, we're going to your ex-girlfriend's house?" I'm like,
"Yeah, that's crazy."
Oh, she lost it.
Oh, good for her. I would have too.
Well, here's the reason why. She lost it, though, is because my wife and her are very similar.
Oh, so she was like comparing herself.
Well, she was like, wait a minute. Her and I are a lot alike. Like, I actually really like this girl, and her and I have a lot in common. why didn't it work out? Because if it didn't work out between you two, it's not going to work out. It might not work out between us.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother crazy story.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah, you'll have to come back tomorrow.
I'm like Mother Goose. I've got so many stories about, like, dating and crazy stuff.
Hey, so do I.
Yeah, it's like, it's because I'm crazy neurotic about things too, and I overanalyze things myself. Like I used to overanalyze things so much that I get sick to my stomach.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how much I used to overanalyze things. So I am neurotic, and I am perfect for my job. So yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to be a little crazy to work in radio.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, and to date me and marry me, you gotta be crazy too. So my wife's a little nuts too, I think. So
well,
anyways,
there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect match.
Yeah, so but that's I ran away from a woman so much. I had to get out of a relationship.
Fled.
I fled this state. I moved from Pittsburgh to Des Moines, Iowa,
to get away from this girl.
To get away from a girl one time, and it was yeah, that was it. Was
wow.
Tell you what, my parents were ecstatic.
Oh, I bet they were.
They hated that girl. Oh my God.
Wow.
Excuse me. Even my friends were not fans of her.
Oh my gosh.
They'd be sitting there and going like, "Hey, let's go out." Like, "Hey, Jessica's got to come." They're like, "Oh, never mind. We're not going out."
Screw that.
Yeah, they would rather not hang out with me because she would come along with us. So,
oh my gosh. Wow. Well, thanks for stopping by. I will surely put this on our YouTube channel.
Oh, great. Now it's searchable for her. Great.
Yep.
Damn it, username. Crap.
So, does she know where you live? Like, does she know?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're friends on Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah.
You'll have to show me what she looks like.
She's changed a lot.
Oh, so she's like fat now.
I don't want to say that.
Hey, I can read between the lines.
Oh well, yeah, that's it. Well, you're very literate. Because you read that very well.
I did.
She has changed a lot.
Well, then show me an old picture if she. I'm sure she's got an entire album of photos with you too.
Oh no!
And it's saying like, this is the guy that fled Pittsburgh.
I don't know if she knows exactly that I took this job to get away from her. She knows I did it. She knows I did it, but I don't think she knows the exact reason why. So, yeah.
Well, she knows it didn't work out. And,
yeah.
Hopefully she's happy wherever she's at.
I think she just got engaged.
Good for her. Then she shouldn't get pissed off when she hears this on YouTube.
She's also a big drinker too. She drank a lot.
Oh, okay, that's why she's fat.
A lot. Like she drank a lot. And she wasn't one of those girls who'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a little like Chardonnay, a little wine like that." No, she drank. It was
like she was gonna party.
She would drink a case of
butt
beer.
off. Oh my God!
Like she would.
It's like Jersey Shore.
Oh,
Snooki.
seriously! Like,
yeah.
She was a partier. She was. That was another thing for me too, because I've never like she was a huge partier and a huge drinker too. Like she used to drink a lot. Like I would be holding her hair over the toilet and stuff like that.
Oh my God!
Like, there you go, honey.
That was your date night. Netflix and chill and vomiting in the toilet, holding the hair back.
Oh yeah, it was like I invested in scrunchies because of that. So seriously,
scrunchies. Oh my God! Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll have you on again. It's 94.3 The X.